All right, we are now on the record for Thursday afternoon criminal docket, September 16, 2021. And I'm going to go ahead and take quick announcements. And I'll start with Attorney Victoria Muniz.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Judge. I have number one on the court's docket. She's a jail case, State of Texas versus Samantha Riojas.
Okay. I don't have the, oh, here, they just came in. They weren't on right now. You're 2 for 2 today, Ms. Muniz.
Yes, Judge, I noticed that.
Okay, Deputy, for the female section, can you bring forward Samantha Riojas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin Landeros, sit up straight, please, sir.
Okay, so let me go ahead and call CR 21-07871-I, State of Texas versus Samantha Lorraine Riojas. And what is your announcement, Counselor?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Victoria Muniz on behalf of Ms. Riojas. She has a felony that's out of the same transaction. It's in the 206. She's set for pretrial on October the 4th. We are trying to work out both of the cases, so I'm just asking for more time for us to be able to do that.
Okay, I have that she's supposed to be arraigned today on the DWI.
That's correct.
Okay, so Ms. Riojas, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am, you may lower your hand and CR 21-07871-I, State of Texas versus Samantha Lorraine Riojas. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am, you're being charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. A Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Ma'am, do you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
No, Your Honor.
Counselor, I'm speaking with your client. Do you find her to be mentally competent and able to assist you with her own defense?
She is competent, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will make a finding that Ms. Riojas is competent and enters a plea of not guilty on her behalf. Okay, so then we can set you, I can put you in on, you said that she's coming on October the 4th?
She set for, yes, October the 4th for felony.
Do you want the next day or you want it further out?
Further out, Your Honor, if possible.
Okay, October 26th
Yes, that should be more than enough time.
at 1:30.
Judge
And
Ramirez.
if we work
Yes.
out an agreement, Your Honor, I will advise the court and maybe we could set it sooner.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, go ahead.
Judge, the state requested the opinion of the voice.
Okay, is this her first DWI offense?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, the court will deny that request at this time.
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you certainly may.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Riojas, we'll see you on October 26th at 1:30, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Likewise, Attorney Francisco Gonzalez.
Hello, Judge. How are you, Judge?
Hi, good afternoon.
I'm here on 19 through 22. Israel Rubalcaba.
Yes, okay, Deputy, do you have Mr. Rubalcaba?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, ask him if he's Spanish speaking.
Mr. Rubalcaba, ¿habla usted español?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, and that is on CR 20-07098-I, CR 21-04351-I, CR 21-04143-I, and CR 21-04144-I. Okay, what is your announcement, Counselor?
After having reviewed the physician's report, the psychiatric report in this case, Your Honor, I've spoken to your prosecutor, Your Honor. We've agreed to reset so I can consult with your prosecutor supervisor to see if maybe we can work something out, right, Mike?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Okay. So right now, Ms. Lozano is not in, so you would need to contact either Mr. Michael Garza, or who is the other person that is available, Mr. Nguyen?
Mr. Arevalo, Juan Arevalo,
Arevalo?
yes.
Okay,
And if we could have my client screened for the mental health court, Your Honor.
I
Maybe-
thought they had already screened him.
No, it was for a mental psychiatric evaluation, Your Honor. I was raising the issue of competency.
Okay, so now you want him screened for mental health court.
Let's see what, so we can have another option, Judge.
Okay,
I think the report shows that he is mentally ill, Your Honor.
okay. Okay, so how much time are you requesting?
3 weeks, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, hold on. Ms. Rivera, do we still have slots for October 7th?
Your Honor, we don't. The next available day for October would be the 26th. I'm not sure when mental health court has actual settings, because I know that they're pretty stacked up or behind, if I'm not mistaken. Does the state know how long or when or how often they have them, Judge?
I have no information on that, but I can find out.
I don't know about, you're talking about how long it'll take to have him screened for mental health court?
Yes, and then I believe that he has to observe after that, if I'm not mistaken.
I can set him up for, what I'll do is I'll set him up for a status for October the 26th at 1:30. And that'll give you time to find out, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
That's it, Your Honor. Can it be excused?
Yes, Ms. Castaneda, please let Mr. Rubalcaba know that he'll return on October 26th at 1:30.
Señor Rubalcaba, su próxima corte es el día 26 de octubre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
you too. Attorney Oscar Vega? Mr.
Good
Vega?
afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Oscar Vega here. Mr. Jesus Alberto Cisneros should be logged on, Judge. And there he
Okay.
is. Judge,
What
I reviewed it.
number?
Number 30, Judge, I'm sorry, number 30 on your docket.
Okay, CR 20-06-880-I, State of Texas versus Jesus Cisneros. Okay, and what is your announcement?
Judge, we reviewed the discovery. He will enter a plea. We just need the plea paperwork so we can get it filled out.
Okay, if that plea paperwork can be forwarded to defense counsel, please, and then how much time do you need to get that ready? Would you be ready by October 5th?
Yes, Your Honor, we will.
Okay,
Okay.
October,
If I may,
okay?
Judge, the defendant is PT eligible. Is defense counsel consider applying for PTD, or are we gonna go to an alternate route on that one?
I wish there was a shorter PTD for this type of offense, Judge. It's selling, he was a bartender accused of selling alcohol to a minor. He is working for Amazon now. He's up in San Marcos. And I'm not sure if when you're on PTD, I think you're not allowed to be out of the county because you have to be at more intense supervision, I believe.
I don't know if somebody, I mean, I don't know. It's, I mean, I've been allowing them, I just placed somebody on PTD this morning that I allowed them to report by mail because they were already living in another county.
Then I can do that, Judge. I'll get that PTD packet submitted by early next week. And we can set him up for the PTD plea.
Okay, so then what we'll do then, since he's eligible, submit that. I mean, he has a driver's license, right? Mr. Cisneros, do you have a driver's license?
Yes, Judge, I do.
The only thing you'll have to set up is for him to take a UA at an approved facility.
Yes, Your Honor. We'll set it up.
Okay. And then you can get all of that done. So I'll go ahead and give you a longer reset then. I'll give you an opportunity to get that packet together and have him submit it. And I'm gonna go ahead and place you, I'm gonna put you for a status on November the 18th at 9:30. If he's ready for placement at that time, let us know and we'll change him to 1:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you.
Okay? Anything
And
else?
that's all we have, Judge. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. You're both
Likewise.
excused.
Thank you.
Attorney Armando Escamilla?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is number 29 on your docket. If Yasar Cervantes, he is present.
Okay, sir, and what is your announcement?
Judge, I believe that he's already paid. He's completed the application for the PTD, and he's ready to move forward.
Okay, I'm taking pleas and placements at the end of the docket, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so the Attorney Dora Alicia Garza?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm standing in for Jorge Ortegon on number 50, Michael Martinez.
Okay. CR 20-02637-I, State of Texas versus Michael Martinez. Is Mr. Martinez present?
I'm here, My Honor.
Okay, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Judge, we are requesting additional time. I believe the state needs to confirm a time served sentence agreement.
Mr. Wind, do you know?
Yes, Judge, we just need additional time to confirm with our chief who made the time served recommendation via text. So it's not on our Odyssey, so it's not on our record. So we just need to confirm with her if that's her final offer on that one.
Okay, so how much time are you requesting?
30 days, Judge, for now, Judge.
Okay, do we still have room on October 28th?
Judge, preferably on the 26th. We do have DWI arraignments on the 28th.
Okay, October 26th, and I'm gonna keep it at 1:30 with the presumption that you'll receive the paperwork and have him signed up, or Mr. Ortegon will.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so we'll see him on October 26th at 1:30, hopefully for disposition.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, October
Yes.
26th at 1:30, sir. Stay in close contact with your attorney because he may be having some paperwork for you to sign.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, have a good day, sir. You are excused.
Likewise. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have two other, Judge, but those are pleas, so I'll go ahead and wait.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Greg Lopez?
Your Honor, Greg Lopez, good afternoon. I represent two individuals. They should be on Zoom and they're ready to proceed with a plea.
Okay, we'll take you up momentarily.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Attorney Damien Orozco?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have two cases set for today's docket. One is number 49. That's Irene Mentado Martinez, State of Texas versus Irene Mentado Martinez. Want to advise the court that all document regarding the PTD has been executed and has been submitted. So at the court's convenient, we just need to put her on PTD. And number two, Your Honor, is State of Texas versus Samuel Torres. That's number 55. This is a status hearing, Your Honor. He should also be logged in. He had one last ticket to pay off. My understanding is that he paid it off yesterday. He's a PTD candidate, and now we can submit his application for PTD, Your Honor.
Okay, that's number 55 on the court's docket. Samuel Torres, can you please announce yourself? Samuel Torres?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's on CR 1909718-I. Okay, so you paid your ticket, your last ticket yesterday, sir?
Yes, by
Okay.
credit card, my sister-in-law. Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Orozco, you need an opportunity to submit the packet?
That is correct, Your Honor. In conferring with the DA or Assistant DA prior, he is a candidate. The only holdup was him paying his tickets, and he finally did that, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's come back on the status
Yes, Judge.
for November the 18th at 9:30.
Yes, and I would simply ask Mr. Torres to please come to my office so that he can execute those documents when we call him. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Torres. You're excused.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, and I'll call you shortly on your PTD placement.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Conant?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have number 25 and 26 on the court's criminal docket.
Okay, that's CR 21-08898-I and CR 21-06980-I. State of Texas versus Jorge Alberto Valadez. Deputy, can you please bring Mr. Valadez forward?
Your Honor, I was going to ask for more time to sign him up. We do have an offer, and I believe we can get him signed up in a week or so.
Okay, so then he'll be a plea?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, October 5th at 1:30.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Is he there? Did he come in?
Yes. Mr. Valadez, are you Spanish speaking or English speaking?
English, Your Honor.
Okay, sir. Your attorney is going to get with you about signing some paperwork. And so we're going to give you the time to do that, and you'll return back on October 5th at 1:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further business.
Okay, Ms. Conant.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Cantu, have you heard from Mr. Puente?
Yes, Your Honor. He sent me an email that he was going to be in another court. So I'm kind of just waiting for him, even though mine aren't, please. Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so all other attorneys that are on right now are for pleas or PTD placement. Is that correct? If you're
Yes,
not,
ma'am.
then please make an announcement.
Your Honor, I have an announcement.
Okay, Mr. Olivares, what number on the court's docket?
Number 51 on the docket, Eileen Mercado.
Okay, give me one moment. CR 20-07970-I, State of Texas versus Eileen Mercado. Ms. Mercado, are you present?
She is present via Zoom.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, we were set for, we are set for a plea placement for PTD this afternoon, but I was just tendered the paperwork on Tuesday, and I need additional time to execute that paperwork and go over it with Ms. Mercado.
Okay, Ms. Soto, do we have a report on Ms. Mercado?
Your Honor, she has her mobile device with safeguard. The report for the past month indicates she had 5 late tests and 6 skip tests.
Okay. Is this the first admonishment? Because I feel like I've admonished her before.
I believe it might be the first one, Judge. I don't recall.
Okay. So Ms. Mercado, I'm going to let you know this is your first admonishment of violations with respect to your alcohol monitoring device. I don't tolerate those violations, ma'am, because then you become a risk to the community, and I can't afford that, to have that on my conscience. I need for you to have 0 violations. The next time you come before me, if you have any violations, I will consider removing your bond and taking you into custody. Do you understand that? Ms. Mercado, do you understand that?
Sí.
¿Hablas español or inglés?
Español.
Okay, counselors, you need to let me know if you have a Spanish-speaking client. If not, you're gonna let me use all my good stuff, and then I'm not gonna know how to say it in Spanish, okay? All right, Ms. Castaneda, please let Ms. Mercado know that she has 5 late tests and 6 skip tests.
Ms. Mercado, tiene usted 5 pruebas tarde y 6 pasadas.
Okay.
Let her know that I don't tolerate violations because she becomes a risk to the community.
Your Honor, and
Mr. Olivares, let me finish admonishing her, please. Okay,
La corte no tolera esto, Ms. Mercado.
and let her know that this is her first warning. The second warning, I will consider removing her bond.
Esta es su primera advertencia. La próxima vez yo puedo revocar su fianza.
Okay.
If she's having trouble with the testing windows, then she needs to speak to her probation officer.
Si usted está teniendo problemas con las ventanas de sus pruebas, necesita hablar con la señora de Probation Department.
Okay.
Ask her for her phone number.
¿Qué es su número de teléfono?
956-575-7008.
956-575-7008.
Okay, Mr. Olivares, what were you going to say?
Yes, Your Honor. And Ms. Soto did let me know about these violations yesterday. And not as in a way as an excuse, but just an explanation. Ms. Mercado does work 6 days out of the week, 12-hour shifts. Is there a way that I can provide that to Ms. Soto with work scheduling?
She needs to provide the copy of the work schedule to Ms. Soto. Ms. Soto will evaluate it and come up with reasonable testing windows for her.
Okay.
But we're also not mind readers, so if they don't tell us what's going on, I'm just gonna assume she's ignoring the court's order.
Okay. I'll make that available to Ms. Soto.
Okay. So then, since you just received the paperwork, then we'll go ahead and set you out. I'm gonna set you for a status on November the 18th at 9:30. Ms. Castaneda, please let Ms. Mercado know November 18th at 9:30 is her next setting.
Ms. Mercado, su próxima corte es el 18 de noviembre a las 9:30 de la mañana.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Olivares?
I have nothing further, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Castaneda, please let Ms. Mercado know that she is also excused.
Ms. Mercado se puede retirar.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, Attorney Monica Galvan, you had an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor. I have number 44 on the court's docket, State of Texas versus Bruno Hernandez. I've received the recommendation and the plea paperwork. I've spoken to my client, but we need some additional time on this case.
Okay, and no, you want me to set it for a plea or a status?
A status, Judge.
November 18th at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If you
May we be
decide,
excused?
if you
I'm sorry.
decide to plead, let us know and we'll change you.
Thank you, Your Honor, and he is on the screen.
I saw him, Mr. Hernandez, November 18th at 9:30, sir, okay?
November 18th?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Mr. Jarvis?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We are set for a plea today, but I just wanted to make sure that the paperwork got in. Mr. Nguyen sent me an email saying that there was a page missing. I wanted to make sure it got corrected before I waited.
Okay, what's the number on the court's docket?
Number 58, CR 20-08056.
Okay.
Page two was missing, but it should have been remedied.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, can you confirm that the entire plea paperwork has been received?
Yes, Judge. All of it has been received and filed.
Okay. All
Okay.
right, so it'll be ready, Mr. Jarvis.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Jaramillo?
Yes, Your Honor. Here, standing in for Terry Palacios, I have Claudia Cruz, number 57, on your docket.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're present and ready for an arraignment.
I thought you were just here on a status.
No, Your Honor, it's for an arraignment.
Okay, can someone confirm whether this defendant has been arraigned before? I don't have it as an arraignment. CR 1706220-I.
Judge, it's set for a status.
Was she ever arraigned?
Yes, Judge, she was in county court number 8, and she was arraigned. She has 2 other cases, Judge, and those are set for status out of our court on the 21st of October.
Okay, Mr. Jaramillo, she was arraigned on this charge, on this offense in the previous court. So she's set for status. However, she has companion misdemeanor cases that are set for status on my docket for October 21st at 9:30. So we'll go ahead and move this one at that time as well. Is Ms. Cruz present?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you'll return on October 21st at 9:30 so that I can have all your cases run together, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, if I may, Judge?
Yes.
Connie with just so that the court knows, she does have her device with Smart Start, Judge. I did run the report for the past 3 months and she only had 9 engine starts.
Okay, Ms. Cruz, do you no longer have that vehicle or why aren't you starting it?
I do, Your Honor, but since I'm still working on getting my driver's license, I don't want to be on the road driving while license suspended.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yes, Your Honor, but I am trying my best because I know I have to get like a special insurance and all that to get my license reinstated. And of course, once I do get my license reinstated, then obviously I do plan to use my vehicle.
Okay, Ms. Cruz, are you current on your interlock device fees?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What is the cost on the switching out from the interlock to the mobile device? Do we know?
Judge, I'm not sure on the exact cost, Judge. I know sometimes I might just switch them over. And I do believe the mobile device runs about maybe 120 with a Smart Start.
It was actually, Your Honor, the individual device I was paying about $150 a month, and with the Smart Start, it's like 60 something.
Okay. The only thing is the whole purpose to have you on this is so that I can monitor you as to whether or not you're drinking while you're out on bond. So
Okay.
I can understand, I mean, you're not going to have engine starts because you shouldn't be driving.
Okay, Your Honor.
So, and I do understand that it is more expensive to have the mobile device. Okay, I'm gonna hold over that, Mr. Jaramillo. I'm gonna look at, for myself also, I need to inform myself because she's not the only one that's in this situation. So I need to know what my options are, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave her like this. I'll see her on October 21st at 9:30, okay?
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Judge,
Okay, yes.
if I may, before Mr. Jaramillo does log off, on numbers 23 and 24, Ms. Miranda Trevino. I do have Mr. Terry Palacios retained on her felony cases. However, there's no attorney of record on these 2 cases. I'm not sure if they have contact with her.
Let me check on that and I'll get back to you.
Okay, Mr. Jaramillo, then what I'm gonna do is temporarily excuse you so that you can ask. Don't log off, just, ask because she is on the docket. So I just need to know if you all are gonna represent her on her 2 misdemeanor cases or if someone else is representing her. So just let me know when you come back on, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Cruz, before I release you, what is your phone number?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 956-331-3740.
Okay, we'll see you on October 21st at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Okay.
good day.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just not to confuse the defendant, her DWI second arraignment is on the 21st of October. It's at 1:30.
Oh, it's at 1:30.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry if I misspoke.
Okay.
So 1:30 p.m.
Yes, 1:30. But if you're gonna be arraigned on your,
I'm on hold.
okay, what does she have on the 21st then? Another DWI arraignment?
Yes, ma'am. She picked up a DWI on the 17th of January 2021. This will be her 3rd DWI arrest, Your Honor.
Okay, and what's the other case that she has?
She has a 2015 case, that's a DWI. The 2017 case is a DWI as well, Your Honor.
Okay, but on the 21st, is she only set on the DWI arraignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
She has 2 DWI seconds, Your Honor, which is the CR 21041 91I is her second DWI, and she'll be arraigned on that DWI second on the 21st.
okay, but you said she had 2 settings that day. So what is her second setting for that day?
She has 3 DWI cases, Judge.
I understand. So then was she ever arraigned on the 2015?
Judge, if I may.
She
The
was-
2015 is set for a status on the
Yes, Judge.
21st.
Okay.
They're all set for status. The 2 older cases, Your Honor, are going to be set for status, and the 1 for arraignment. The 2 older cases have been arraigned, and she's going to be arraigned on her second DWI second on the 21st. They're all going to be set at the same time.
Okay. So, all right. Miss Cruz, and we're gonna see you on all your 3 cases on October 21st at 1:30.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Let's see. All right, so everybody else, this is who I have that is ready. I mean, if you're present, Mr. Bustos, you have an announcement?
Yes, Judge. I got 3 announcements, Judge, and they're fairly quick. Number 36, Judge.
CR 20-04680-I. Alex Fuentes, is he present?
Judge, I have not been able to get a hold of him.
I'm right here.
He's right there. Okay. So, Judge, on this, Judge, we have the plea paperwork, Judge. We're just we've missed each other in regards to getting the paperwork signed. If we can we just set it up for sometime in 2 weeks, Judge, and I can get Mr. Fuentes to come sign.
Okay, we can take it up on October 5th at 1:30. Mr. Fuentes, make sure that you contact your attorney so you can go ahead and sign that paperwork before that day, sir.
I already sent it to him via email, ma'am.
Okay.
Through Adobe.
Through Adobe? Okay. If you send it, I'm going to go get that, Judge.
Okay, October 5th at 1:30.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes.
Judge, and I have number 45 and 46, Judge.
Okay. CR 21-06530-I, CR 21-06531-I, State of Texas versus Pedro Huerta. Is Mr. Huerta present?
That
Pedro Huerta? Okay, so he has until the end of the docket to come on, sir, and then if not, I'm going to take a nice eye on you.
Very well, Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Sorry to interrupt you, Judge.
Okay.
I'll check with my staff, and we do represent Ms. Miranda Trevino, number 2021 on your docket, and the felony is set for October 26th.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so CR 20-03263-I, CR 21-05753-I, State of Texas versus Miranda Trevino. Is Ms. Trevino present? Ms. Trevino? Okay, she may not have been notified of this hearing because we do not have you as the attorney of record on there.
Yes, Your Honor, she wasn't notified.
Okay, so, and she is out on bond right now, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so, when is her felony set for?
October 26th.
Okay. Let's have her come back on November the 2nd at 9:30. And I'll set her up for a status. Can you also make sure that you file your notice of appearance on both of those cases so the clerk can have you all named?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
Okay, anything else, sir?
That's it, Your Honor. Sorry for the confusion. May I be excused?
Yes, sir, no problem. Okay. Okay, so Ms. Garza, on your client, Ms. Ayala, we had held it over to today because we were going to see if Ms. Palacios Love was going to turn in the paperwork on her other two cases, but we haven't received it. Are we just moving forward on your case then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Deputy in the female section, can I please have Inigia Ayala? Let me see. Did I lose the female section? Ms. Garza, doesn't look like I have the female section anymore.
Yeah, Judge, we got like 3 or 4 other courts going on, so there's only one female pot.
I'm sorry, Deputy, I didn't catch that. You have a lot of, what did
We
you
have,
say?
we have about 4 courts going on right now and only one female pot, so they're more than likely in another court.
Okay, then Ms. Garza, as soon as they log back in, I'll let you know.
Yes, Judge. I also have Maria Torres, and she is present also for a plea. And that is
Okay.
number 54.
I'm sorry, what number?
54.
Okay. And Ms. Torres, you're present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, make sure that you keep yourself unmuted and in a quiet place, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Arispe, you're ready on Oscar Garcia?
Yes, ma'am. That's a plea to the court.
Okay, Deputy, can you please bring Oscar Garcia forward? Okay, and then I have Miss Garcia Perez, you have Ramiro Ramirez Jr. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor, and he's signed up and ready to plea.
Okay, on both cases?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Deputy, can you please bring Ramiro Ramirez Jr. forward? Ms. Garza, I just got the female section back in.
Judge, my client will need an interpreter.
Okay. Let me see if they're still. Okay, Deputy, for the female section. Deputy for the female section.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you bring forward Inigia Ayala, please? Okay. All right. And Miss Ayala is English speaking, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Attorney Sergio Sanchez. Mr. Fernandez Cantu. Mario Fernandez Cantu. Okay, sir, we're ready for pleas, so you need to contact your attorney so he can get on.
Okay, let me go ahead and contact him right now.
Okay, Eleazar Cervantes. Eleazar Cervantes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please make sure that you stay unmuted.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I don't have Attorney Lily Gutierrez.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here, and so is my client.
Okay, Mr. Alexander Contreras Jr. Alexander Contreras Jr.
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Contreras, make sure that you stay unmuted. Thank you, sir. I was just about to tell you. Okay. Juan Daniel Gonzalez. Juan Daniel Gonzalez. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, make sure you stay unmuted in a quiet section.
Yes, ma'am.
Tristan Guerra. Tristan Guerra.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Judge. It's Eric Olguin and Mr. Guerra's here.
Okay. Make sure, Mr. Guerra, that you're able, I know you're outside working.
Yes, because I'm spotting a operator. Now there's no one around that can help me spot.
Okay, you're gonna need to get to a spot where you can answer questions.
All right.
If not, it's going to be difficult.
Let me tell the operator.
Okay, Gemma Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay,
Eloy Hernandez with my client judge. She's also present, ready for a plea. She does speak English.
okay. Irene Martinez. Irene Martinez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. She's a Spanish speaker, Your Honor. She does need the assistance of an interpreter, and this is for a PTD placement, Your Honor.
Okay. Erasmo Solis. Erasmo Solis.
Here, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Lopez, that's your case as well, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And Carolina Chavez. Is Mr. Gonzalez, I know he's doing a personal appearance in another court, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, he's notified us that he's trying to break away from that court, but they haven't given him a chance yet.
Okay. So then we have Carlos Burgani. Is Mr. Carlos Burgani present? Mr. Morales, do you see your client on?
Oh, hello, Your Honor. It's actually Carlos Bugarin. He should have been on here. I mean,
Carlos Bugarin.
I'm going to call him right now, Your Honor. He was on here earlier.
Okay. And Martin Luis Landeros.
He's present, ready, Judge. He is a Spanish speaker.
Okay. And is he?
And he's signed and ready for a plea.
I don't see him.
There's a
Oh, wait.
red leather background behind him.
Oh, there he is, but he's Spanish speaker, you said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bugarin.
Your Honor,
Mr.
my client,
Morales,
he's
is
showing
he?
up as Carlos Garcia on the computer, he stated. Where is he?
Well, I have a Carlos Bugarin,
Oh, well, he's on there and that would be him.
but is he Spanish speaking?
Oh, yes, Your Honor, my apologies.
Okay, señor Bugarin, ¿me escucha? Ok, necesita que quitar para que se ponga el micrófono.
Ahí se escucha.
Sí.
Okay.
Okay. Now, for the attorneys that are present and have their clients present for pleas or PTD placement, did I call everyone's name out? If I didn't, I need to let you know. Okay. Mr. John Rigney, I saw you log in. Mr. Rigney, are you still on? Mr. Rigney? Mr. Lino, I know you're waiting for that, but now you're going to have to wait until after.
Judge, I'm here, Judge. Apologize.
Okay, so did you have a quick announcement or were
Yes,
you set up
yes,
for a
Your-
plea?
No, Judge, on Jose Lino, I apologize. I need time to get with the state to see about his deferred disposition, Your Honor.
Okay, what number is he on the court's docket?
I apologize, Judge. I wasn't able to look that up on the actual docket.
Okay, that's number 47, CR 180731-4-I. Okay, Mr. Lino is present, and how much time are you requesting, Mr. Rickney?
No, Judge, if we can get the state's input on this, couple weeks, just so I can discuss it with them.
I'm gonna set you for a status on October the 26th at 9:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, does Mr. Lino have an alcohol monitoring device?
He does, Your Honor, and I was gonna ask the court, he's had it for a while now. It was a Class B misdemeanor, and if Your Honor can possibly remove that requisition, the requirement, I don't believe he's had any violations.
Okay, I need confirmation. Is this his first DWI or his second?
He had a DWI about 12 years ago that was also dismissed. And so this one is a Class B misdemeanor, and there is no blood alcohol over 0.15, no accidents. It was just a traffic stop, Your Honor.
I understand, but it's that the way that the statute is even if they've had an arrest and it ended in a disposition, they still need to have the alcohol monitoring device, unless, I know his is an 18 case, unless his case was prior to the statute going into effect. You can have an opportunity to look at that because it may have come before the statute went into effect. His arrest date was on April 11th, and usually those laws go into effect September 1st.
Correct. I'll look at that, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll give you an opportunity to do that, and that'll be October 26th at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. That's all. If we may be excused.
Let me just make sure, Ms. Soto, Mr. Lino has had 0 violations in the past. Does that continue?
That's true, Judge. Yes, the last report shows 0 violations, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lino, we'll see you on October 26th at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, sir.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Likewise. Okay, so we're going to get started with the pleas. This is a larger group than normal. Ms. Castaneda, can you please translate for me? Let them know that, for the Spanish speakers, let them know that we are going to get started with the pleas.
Ya vamos a comenzar con las peticiones.
Tell them that they need to let me give them the admonishment in English, and you will translate for them in Spanish.
Necesita dejar que la juez dé las amonestaciones en inglés y yo lo voy a traducir en español.
And then they need to answer and give you an opportunity to translate to the court.
Y después necesitan darme una oportunidad para contestar.
If at any time anyone does not understand the admonishment, they are to ask the court to explain it.
Si en alguna ocasión no entienden la amonestación, por favor pregunten para que la corte les explique.
Okay, so defendants that are entering into a plea today or a pretrial diversion placement, you need to be patient and you need to be listening. Okay, so I do ask that you please be unmuted so that you can answer quickly. Ms. Castaneda, can you please translate that they need to be unmuted so they can answer quickly?
Necesitan tener sus bocinas prendidas para que contesten rápido.
If you do not answer quickly, I'm going to skip you and you will have to wait to the end of the pleas.
Si no contestan rápido, los voy a tener que omitir, a pasarlos y van a tener que esperar hasta el último.
Okay. Listen to the admonishment. I will let you know if it is a yes or no answer.
Escuchen para las amonestaciones. Usted es una pregunta sí o no.
Okay. So all defendants, please raise your right hand. Castaneda?
Por favor, levanten la mano derecha.
Do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Miss Ayala?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Castaneda, can you please translate for Mr. Garcia?
Juran que el testimonio que están a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
And Mr. Oscar Romero Garcia. Okay. Carlos Burgani. Ask him yes or no.
Carlos Burgani. Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
Irene Mentado Martinez. Yes or no?
Sí. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, if you're asking for a translator, you need to allow for them to translate. Then your responses are to be in Spanish. Ms. Castañeda, please let her know.
Ms. Bertado, me tiene que esperar a que lo traduzca yo, a solamente que va a contestar en inglés.
Sí, está bien.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, Mr. Landeros, yes or no? Translation?
Señor Landeros. ¿Puede quitar su bocina, Mr. Landeros?
Ahí.
Yes.
Tell him to
No, no.
keep it like that.
Déjela así.
Sí.
¿Sí o no, Mr. Landeros?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Ramiro Ramirez Jr., yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, you're already on, so I'll go ahead and take your client's plea. Mr. Arnulfo Fernandez Cantu, yes or no?
Yes.
Eliazar Cervantes, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alexander Contreras Jr., yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Juan Daniel Gonzalez, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Tristan Cruz Guerra, yes or no?
What was that, ma'am?
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Gemma Martinez, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Maria de Jesus Torres, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, everyone may lower their hands.
¿Pueden bajar su mano?
In cause number CR 1904186-I, the state of Texas versus Inigia Amanda Ayala. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
In CR 21-09648-I, the state of Texas versus Oscar Romero Garcia, is that your true and correct name?
En el estado de Texas se encuentra Oscar Romero García. ¿Ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
In CR 1704943-I and CR 21-08264-I, the state of Texas versus Ramiro Ramirez Jr. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. In CR 2005469-I, the state of Texas versus Eliazar Cervantes Jr. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
In CR 1811814-I, CR 1915012-I, and in they're on different pages, so hold on. Is your true and correct name Mario Arnulfo Fernandez Cantu?
Yes, ma'am.
And in CR 2005469-I, the state of Texas versus Eliazar Cervantes Jr. Is that your true and correct name? Mr. Cervantes,
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
CR 2103715-I and
Yeah, why
CR
not?
2100100-I. And in CR 1906988-I, the state of Texas versus Alexander Contreras Jr. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but on Alexander Contreras, it's only on 03715 that he's entering a plea today.
Oh, so the other ones are not ready?
No, those who have a conditional dismissal based upon this plea.
Okay, my notes didn't have that. So number 33 and the number 34 in the court's docket will be dismissed as long as he meets certain conditions.
I think it is connected to the conditions of this probation. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so when we get to the sentencing and the state issues their recommendation, I'm gonna need that to be specific, Mr. Wind, okay?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
You're welcome.
And CR 20-07342-I in the state of Texas versus Juan Daniel Gonzalez, is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And CR 20-02156-I, CR 17-03044-I, and CR 19-02124-I, and in CR 20-02157-I, the state of Texas versus Tristan Cruz Guerra. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. In CR 19-02330-I, the state of Texas versus Gemma Martinez. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
In CR 19-09692-I, state of Texas versus Irene Martinez. Is that your true and correct name? Ms. Castañeda?
En el estado de Texas en contra Irene Martínez, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí, señora juez. Sí.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. In CR 20-10748-I, the state of Texas versus Erasmo Solis Jr. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
In CR 20-09668-I, the state of Texas versus Maria de Jesus Torres. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
In CR 20-08056-I, the state of Texas versus Martín Luis Landeros. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
En el estado de Texas en contra Martín Luis Landeros, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Así es.
Yes.
In CR 17-13878-I, state of Texas versus Carlos Bugari.
Yes.
Carlos Bugarini. I cannot pronounce your last name. Hold on.
Bugarin.
Bugarin. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Bugarin, it's either in English or in Spanish. If you want it translated, then you need to wait for the translator, okay? So, Ms. Castañeda, please. I'm sorry?
I can speak English.
Okay, do you speak enough English to be fluent to understand the admonishments from the court?
Yeah, I have a real good English.
Okay, so are you saying that you want to proceed in English then?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Flores, I know that Mr. Guerra he's at a work site, so if at any time you cannot hear us, then let us know. And then we're gonna have to make other arrangements for Mr. Guerra because he needs to be in a quiet place. So let me know if that background noise ends up getting to be too much.
Okay, Judge.
Okay. And CR 190. Yes, you can hear me, but we are having difficulty because of that, whatever noise it is in the back and the wind. So when you do please, you're supposed to be told to be in a location where you can be in a quiet place. I know it's not always possible, but there you go. That's better. Okay. All right, in CR 1904186-I, Ms. Ayala, you're before the court charged with theft of property of greater than $100, but less than $750. That's a Class B misdemeanor. And I will explain shortly what the range of punishment is for a Class B misdemeanor and a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 21-09648-I, the state of Texas versus Oscar Romero Garcia, you are before the court charged with a driving while intoxicated second, a Class A misdemeanor.
Oscar Romero García, está usted frente a la corte por un cargo de manejar en estado de ebriedad segundo. Es un delito menor clase A.
In CR 17-04943-I, State of Texas versus Ramiro Ramirez Jr., you are before the court charged with theft of property of greater than $50 and less than $500, a Class B misdemeanor. And in CR 21-08264-I, you are before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. In CR 18-11814-I, you are before the court, Mr. Fernandez Cantu, charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. In CR 19-15012-I, a second offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class A misdemeanor. You are also before the court. Hold on. On CR, oh, that's a dismissal. Okay. On CR 20-05469-I, Mr. Cervantes, you're before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. On CR 21-03715-I, Mr. Contreras, you are before the court charged with resisting arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. On CR 20-07342-I, Mr. Gonzalez, you're before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. On CR 20-02156-I, Mr. Guerra, you are before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. On CR 17-03044-I, you are also before the court for theft of property of greater than $100 and less than $750. On CR 19-02124-I, you are before the court on an accident involving damage to a vehicle of greater than $200, which is a Class B misdemeanor. On CR 20-02157-I, you are before the court for the offense of possession of marijuana, a Class B misdemeanor. On CR 19-02330-I, Ms. Gemma Martinez, you are before the court on hindering secured creditors of greater than $750, but less than $2,500, which is a Class A misdemeanor. And on CR 19-09692-I, Ms. Martinez, you are before the court for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, está usted frente a la corte por un cargo de manejar en estado de ebriedad, un delito clase menor, menor clase B.
Okay.
Mr. Erasmo Solis, you are before the court charged with driving while intoxicated second, a Class A misdemeanor. CR 20-09668-I, Ms. Maria and De Jesus Torres, you are before the court for driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. On CR 20-08056-I, Mr. Landeros, you are before the court on fraud, destroy, removal, concealment, writing, a Class A misdemeanor. Ms. Castañeda?
Martín Landeros, está usted frente a la corte con un cargo de fraude, destruir, eliminar o ocultar escrituras, un delito menor clase A.
Okay, on CR 17-13878-I, Mr. Bugarin, you are before the court on a driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of more than 0.15, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Okay, I need for you to listen closely. If you are a defendant charged with a Class B misdemeanor that carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Ms. Castañeda?
Una ofensa menor clase B tiene una multa potencial de hasta 6 meses en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo y una multa de hasta $2,000 por convicción.
For a defendant that is charged with a Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction.
Para los defendientes que tienen una ofensa menor clase A, tiene una multa potencial de hasta 1 año en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo y una multa de hasta $4,000 por convicción.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask you if you understood the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged. Ms. Castañeda?
Les voy a preguntar que si cada uno de ustedes entendió el rango de castigo que pueden recibir por los delitos de los que están acusados.
Okay, this is a yes or no answer.
Esta es una respuesta de sí o no.
Okay, Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantu?
Yes.
Mr. Cervantes?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Ms. Martínez, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Solis?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Landeros, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor Landero, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Bugarin? Okay, I heard that yes, but you'll need to raise your voice a little bit more, Mr. Bugarin, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, all of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with the court. Ms. Castañeda?
Ustedes tienen derecho a un abogado y el derecho para un juicio por jurado, pero pueden renunciar a uno o a los dos de sus derechos firmando un documento con esta corte.
Now, I'm going to ask you, did you have an opportunity to review that document with your attorney before signing it? Ms. Castañeda?
Tuvieron una oportunidad de revisar esos documentos con su abogado antes de firmar.
This will also be a yes or no response.
Esta también va a ser una respuesta de sí o no.
Okay, Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, you need to let Ms. Castañeda translate. Ms. Castañeda, please let him know that.
Mr. García, necesita que me deje terminar de traducir.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantu?
Yes.
Mr. Cervantes?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Solis?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Landeros, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor Landero, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Bugarin?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Did each of you understand when you signed that document that you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Ms. Castañeda?
Cada uno de ustedes entendió que cuando firmaron ese documento que estaban renunciando a su derecho de un juicio por jurado.
This is also a yes or no response.
Esto también es una respuesta de sí o no.
Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantú?
Yes.
Mr. Cervantes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Solis?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Torres?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Landeros, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor Landero, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Bugarin?
Yes.
Okay, then the court will accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Ms. Castañeda?
¿Alguna corte los ha declarado mentalmente incompetentes, loco o demente?
And that is also a yes or no question, answer, response.
Esto también va a ser una respuesta de sí o no.
Okay, Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
No.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no.
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 Mr. Ramirez? Mr. Fernandez Cantú?
No.
Mr. Cervantes?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Contreras?
I'm sorry?
Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Guerra?
No.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no.
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 Mr. Solis?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Torres, I'm sorry, Ms. Torres?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Landeros, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor Landero, sí o no.
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 Digo, sí, perdón.
Yes.
Mr. Landeros, has any court ever declared you to be mentally
No,
incompetent,
perdón.
crazy,
No,
or
perdón.
insane?
I'm sorry,
No.
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 Okay. Ms. Castañeda, just ask him again, just to be safe on the record.
Señor Landeros, ¿alguna corte lo ha declarado alguna vez mentalmente incompetente, loco o demente?
No, para nada.
No.
Okay. Then counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Ms. Garza?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Ayala and Ms. Torres are mentally competent and able to assist.
Ms. Arispe?
Mr. Garcia is competent, Your Honor.
Ms. Garcia Perez?
Mr. Ramirez is competent, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, Sergio Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
Okay. Mr. Escamilla?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cervantes is, and he has been able to assist me.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Contreras is competent.
Mr. Lopez? Mr. Lopez?
Your Honor, Mr. Erasmo Solis and Mr. Juan Daniel Gonzalez are both competent and able to assist in their defense.
Okay. Mr. Perez? Or is Mr. Holguin? I'm sorry, Mr.
Yes,
Holguin,
yes,
you're
ma'am.
doing Mr. Okay.
Yes, I find Mr. Guerra competent.
Okay. And Mr. Hernandez? Attorney Eloy Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Emma Martinez is competent.
Okay, Mr. Orozco.
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Mentado Martinez is competent and has assisted in her defense, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jarvis.
Same announcement as to Mr. Landeros, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Morales.
Yes, Mr. Bugarin is competent, Your Honor.
Okay. Then the court will make a finding that all of the defendants before the court today entering into a plea are mentally and placement for PTD are mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do each of you understand that if the punishment I assess does not exceed what's recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Ms. Castañeda?
Cada uno de ustedes entiende que si el castigo que voy a evaluar, si el castigo no excede la recomendación del Estado, ustedes van a necesitar el permiso de esta corte si usted decide presentar una apelación.
Okay, do you understand that? And this will also be a yes or no response.
Esto también va a ser una respuesta de sí o no.
Ms. Ayala?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no. Yes.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantú?
Yes.
Mr. Cervantes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Solis?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Landeros, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor Landero, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bugarin?
Yes.
Okay. Do you further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Ms. Castañeda?
Entienden también que la corte no tiene que aceptar la recomendación del Estado.
And this will also be a yes or no question.
Y esta también es una pregunta de sí o no.
Okay, Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantú?
Yes.
Mr. Cervantes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Solis?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Torres?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Landeros, yes or no?
Señor Landero, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Bugarin?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I need to ask all of you if you are a U.S. citizen, okay? And this is also a yes or no response. Ms. Castañeda?
Ahora les voy a preguntar si son ciudadanos americanos y esta también es una respuesta de sí o no.
Okay, Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no. No.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantú?
Yes.
Mr. Cervantes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez, Ms. Castañeda,
Irene Martínez, sí o no?
No.
No.
okay. Mr. Solis,
Yes, Your Honor.
Maria, Ms. Torres,
No, Your Honor.
okay. Mr. Landeros, yes or no?
Señor Landero, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. He's answering that he is a U.S. citizen.
Su respuesta es que sí es ciudadano americano?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Bugari?
Sí. Yes.
Okay. If you are not a U.S. citizen, for those of you that know, if you are not a U.S. citizen, then entering a plea or no contest will result in your deportation, exclusion, or admission from our country and denial of naturalization under U.S. federal law. Ms. Castañeda?
Si no es ciudadano americano, entonces esta petición va a resultar en su deportación, expulsión de este país y negación de la naturalización.
Okay. Do you understand the consequences of your plea?
¿Entienden ustedes las consecuencias de su petición?
Mr. Garcia, yes or no?
Señor García, sí o no? Yes.
Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Torres, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then knowing and understanding the consequences of your plea and possible effect to your immigration status, do you still want to enter your plea today? Ms. Castañeda?
Sabiendo las consecuencias de su petición, ¿quieren proceder ahora?
Mr. Garcia, yes or no?
Señor García, sí o no? Yes.
Okay. Ms. Irene Martinez, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Torres?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then now we're moving on to the judgment. So in CR 1904186-I, the state of Texas versus Inigia Amanda Ayala, to the offense of theft of property of greater than $100, but less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor. Ma'am, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 2109648-I, the state of Texas versus Oscar Garcia, to the offense of driving while intoxicated second, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
En el estado de Texas en contra Oscar Romero García por el cargo de manejar en estado de ebriedad segunda, ¿cómo se declara culpable o no culpable?
Sí.
Ask him if it's only guilty or not guilty.
¿O no culpable?
Sí.
Mr. Garcia, tell him he needs to answer if it's guilty or not guilty.
Mr. García, ¿necesita contestar culpable o no culpable?
Ms. Arispe, it seems that your client is having difficulty understanding.
Judge, I know I spoke to him at least 3 times on this case, Judge, and went through his documents. I'm not sure what the problem is, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, ¿me escucha? ¿Me escucha, Mr. Garcia? Okay. Es que necesita que contestar culpable o no culpable. So, para el cargo que es, porque está aquí hoy, el driving while intoxicated second, es ¿Está culpable o no culpable, sir?
Culpable.
Okay. Can you translate that again, Ms. Castañeda?
Mr. Romero, por el cargo que está usted frente a la corte, que es manejar en el estado de ebriedad segundo un delito menor clase A, ¿se declara culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Okay, in CR 1704943-I, for the offense of theft of property of greater than $50 but less than $500, a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Ramirez, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On CR 21-08264-I, State of Texas versus Ramiro Ramirez Jr. for driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On CR 18-11814-I, the State of Texas versus Mario Arnulfo Fernandez Cantu for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead? Sir, hold on. Hold on. Mr. Wind, I need for you to clarify, is this one that's being dismissed?
On which one, Judge?
On number 27 of the court's docket. It's because I have revocation dismissal with a plea, so he's pleading to only number 28.
Yes, Judge. He's only pleading to number 28, and
Okay.
well, like the number 27 is a revocation dismissal, Judge.
Okay. So let me clarify that for the record, Mr. Fernandez. It'll be only on CR 19-15012-I, State of Texas versus Mario Arnulfo Fernandez Cantu for the offense of driving while intoxicated second. It's a Class A misdemeanor. Sir, how do you plead on that offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. On CR 20-5-469-I, State of Texas versus Eleazar Cervantes Jr. to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Sir, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
On CR 21-03715-I, State of Texas versus Alexander Contreras Jr. to the offense of resisting arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
CR 20-07342-I, State of Texas versus Juan Daniel Gonzalez for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On CR 20-02156-I, for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Guerra, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On CR 1703944-I for theft of property of greater than $100, but less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
CR 19-02124-I for accident involving damage to a vehicle of greater than $200, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
CR 20-02157-I for possession of marijuana for less than 2 ounces, Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
CR 1952330-I for hinder secured creditors of greater than $750 but less than $2,500. Ms. Gemma Martinez, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
In CR 1909692-I for driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Ms. Irene Martinez, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? Ms. Castañeda, this needs a translation.
Ms. Irene Martínez en el estado de Texas por su cargo de manejar en estado de ebriedad un delito de cómo se declara culpable o no culpable.
Culpable.
Guilty.
NCR 20-10748-I for driving while intoxicated second, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, Mr. Solis? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
NCR 20-09668-I, the State of Texas versus Maria de Jesus Torres for driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty? Ms. Torres?
sorry. Guilty.
Okay. Ms. Gemma Martinez, you do need to turn on your camera, ma'am. Okay?
Hello?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, you need to stay on the camera. Thank you. On CR 2008056-I, State of Texas versus Martin Luis Landeros for fraud, destroy, removal, concealment, writing, a class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty? Ms. Castañeda?
En el estado de Texas contra Martín Luis Landeros por un cargo de fraude, destruir, eliminar, ocultar escrituras, un delito menor clase A, ¿cómo se declara culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
NCR 1713878-I for driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level greater than 0.15, a class A misdemeanor. Mr. Bugarin, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. At this time, I need to ask you, are all of you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Ms. Castañeda?
A este tiempo les tengo que preguntar que si se están declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente.
This will be a yes or no response.
Esta va a ser una respuesta de sí o no.
Ms. Ayala, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Garcia, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor García, sí o no. Yes.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez Cantu?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes.
Ms. Gemma Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Irene Martinez? Ms. Castañeda?
Irene Martínez, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Solis?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Landeros? Ms. Castañeda?
Señor Landeros, sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Bugarin?
Yes.
Okay, then the court will make a finding that you entered your pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily. Okay, I will call for state's evidence at this time.
Judge, before the state reads in his evidence, I want to clarify something with defense counsel on some of the pleas.
Okay, which is the first one?
The first one is number 28, Mr. Fernandez Cantu, so to Mr. Sanchez.
Okay, Mr. Sergio Sanchez, are you still with us? Sergio Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen has a question regarding the plea paperwork on your client, Mr. Fernandez Cantu. Mr. Nguyen, you may proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sanchez, there was a date missing on the waiver of the 39.14 disclosure. The other waiver has September 7th. Was this signed on September 7th also?
There's no objection, Mr. Wynn, or whatever you're requesting, Judge, and all I'm requesting for Mr. Cantu is for the court to follow the agreement. I think it's a plea to 1 and a dismissal of 2.
Okay, we haven't gotten to the sentencing phase yet. We're still into,
Yes.
we haven't even admitted the documents into as exhibits. But what he's asking is regarding the plea paperwork. So, okay, so Mr. Nguyen, can you please explain that to Mr. Sanchez again?
My apologies, Judge. It's just he was breaking up quite a bit.
On the waiver of 39.14, the date was missing. Another waiver, it was signed on September 7th. Was this the waiver of 39.14 signed on the same date?
Yes, sir, it was. Judge, there's no objection to interlineate that. I believe it was just an oversight, but all the paperwork was signed on the same day.
Okay,
Okay, next one, Judge, is number 29, Mr. Cervantes. So Mr. Escamilla.
okay, Mr. Escamilla, this question is directed to you on your client, Eliazar Cervantes.
Okay, for that one, there's 2 things. First is the missing check mark on the trial court certification, notification of defendant right of appeal certification. Can defense counsel state which one he would have checked off on that one?
Mr. Wynn, excuse the interruption. Mr. Bugarin. Mr. Bugarin. You need to stand up if you're going to be sleeping, sir.
Okay.
Stand up. Stay awake, sir.
That's correct. Yes, Mr. Nguyen.
Okay, so which option are you wanting to pick off, Mr. Escamilla, on that?
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing.
Okay, so on the, I understood regarding the waiver of appeal. So you have those different options. And whether it's, you know, you're entering a plea and waiving your appeal or just waiving the appeal, there's about 5 options.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which
Yeah,
option would you like checked off?
Our intent is that we're entering the plea, Your Honor, and we're waiving our right to appeal.
Okay,
And second thing was on the 39.14 disclosure was missing the date. On the other waiver, it was date September 10th. Was
That was the intent as well, Mr. Nguyen, on the 10th of September.
I'm done with that one, Judge.
okay, the next one.
The next one is number 38, Mr. Juan Daniel Gonzalez, so Mr. Lopez.
Okay, Mr. Greg Lopez, on Mr. Juan Daniel Gonzalez, this question from the state is directed to you, sir.
All right, Your Honor. I did not hear the question. I'm sorry. Can
He
please-
hasn't said it yet.
Okay. All right.
Mr.
Okay,
Lopez.
go ahead, Mr. Nguyen.
There was on the trial court certification notification of defendant rights of appeal certification, there was a missing check mark. Which one would you have checked off?
Oh, that would be the space that indicates that the defendant has no right to appeal. I believe it's, you know, I don't remember if it's the 3rd or 4th box, but yes.
All right, next one, Judge, is for Mr. Erasmo Solis Jr. So Mr. Lopez again.
Mhm.
Same question.
It's the same answer. Defendant has no right to appeal.
And that's it, Judge. That's all of them, Judge.
Okay. So
And
now
go-
that we've clarified, okay, so then go ahead, Mr. Nguyen. I'll call for some evidence at this time.
Judge, there's a couple of them that's for revel only. So you want me to read that one first, Judge?
Okay,
Okay. You want me to specify which one or?
well, yes, if it's only gonna be a finding of true and if he did do it. So on, which one is that one?
Let me take a look.
You said on Mr. Fernandez Cantu, is that
That
correct?
was one of them, yes, Judge.
Okay,
Okay, so for that one and more, I believe one. And Mr. Solis. The number 52, Judge, that was a rebel too.
oh, the number 52, okay.
So can I go ahead and proceed with that one first, those first two?
Okay, go ahead. So it's number 52 and which number on Mr. And number 27?
That's correct. Judge. That is correct, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, state offer waiver of rights, consent, stipulation of evidence, and plea of true to state motion to revoke, adjudicate post confession, community supervision, at state exhibit 1. It also requests the defendant stipulate that he is the same defendant who was previously placed on probation.
Okay, Mr. Fernandez Cantu, are you the same defendant that was placed on probation for your driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, sir? Mr. Fernandez Cantu, did we lose you?
No, ma'am, sir.
Okay, so, sir, this state is proceeding. We can do the dismissal on your revocation. However, you need to stipulate that you are the same defendant that had been placed on probation prior to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now are you the same defendant that violated those conditions that were set forth in your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Solis, are you the same defendant that was placed previously on probation, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same defendant that violated those conditions of probation, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen?
Hey, Judge, for every other defendant and offer plea document and offense report as stated in Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as stated in Exhibit 2, waiver of 39.14 disclosure as stated in Exhibit 3, and for Ms. Ayala, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Cervantes, Mr. Fernandez Cantu, Mr. Contreras, Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Guerra, Ms. Gemma Martinez, Ms. Irene Martinez, Mr. Solis, Torres, Mr. Landeros. No, not Mr. Green. Waiver of risk and need assessment as stated before. And for Mr. Cervantes and Ms. Irene Martinez, PT packet as stated in 5. And now for all defendants, they would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to stipulate that the evidence has been filed is sufficient to debate or plead guilty.
Okay. Any objections, counselors? Ms. Garza?
No objection, Your Honor, and so stipulate as to the venue and jurisdiction, and that all evidence submitted to this court is sufficient to corroborate the plea of.
Okay, Ms. Arispe?
Mr. Garcia, Your Honor, no objections to the exhibit and so agreed and stipulated.
Okay, Ms. Garcia Perez?
Same announcement as to Mr. Ramirez, Your Honor, on both cases.
Mr. Sanchez?
Same announcement, Your Honor, for Mr. Cantu.
Mr. Escamilla?
No objection, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Eleazar Cervantes, and so stipulated.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Your Honor, to Mr. Contreras, same announcement.
Mr. Lopez?
Your Honor, same announcement for Mr. Erasmo Solis and for Mr. Juan Daniel Gonzalez.
Mr. Holguin?
Same announcement, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez?
Same announcement as to Gemma Martinez.
Mr. Orozco?
Same announcement in reference to Ms. Mentado Martinez, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jarvis?
Same announcement as for Martin Landeros, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Morales?
Same announcement as to Carlos Bugarin.
Okay. There being no objections for defense counsel to the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you need to listen to me. We're starting to get a little bit of feedback. Hang in there. I know it's been a long process, but this is the process that we feel works the best for us to try to move this efficiently. We're now moving on to the sentencing phase. Okay, so this is where one by one, we're gonna receive what is the state's recommendation, or if you're making a plea to the court, and I will issue the judgment and the decision, okay? Ms. Castañeda, can you please translate that?
A esta hora vamos a pasar al estado para las sentencias y para los que van a ser colocados en el programa del desvío al previo al juicio.
Okay, so once we finish with your sentencing and your attorney has an opportunity to make any requests or questions on your behalf, you will be excused. Ms. Castañeda?
Cuando ya su abogado se termine con su caso y haga sus peticiones, sus requisitos para su caso, se puede retirar.
Okay, before we proceed, Ms. Gemma Martinez, can you hear me? Your phone is on mute. Okay, you need to keep the camera on you, but for some reason you're getting a lot of static. I don't know if you want to unplug your headphones and plug them back in from your phone. Okay, and now she froze, Mr. Martins. We lost her. We'll pick up when she comes back in.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot better. I thought we had lost you. I said, man, all that work that we did.
No, I was like, no.
Okay. You're like, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, oh no.
All right. Try to stay in one spot because you are freezing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so in cause number CR 1904186-I, the state of Texas versus Inigia Amanda Ayala, it is a judgment of the court, ma'am, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $200 fine, court costs, 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 9 months, a theft course, and 10 community service hours.
Okay, Ms. Garza, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, Ms. Ayala is currently in jail, and I believe she has been in there already for, I would say, more than a month, Judge. She is pending other felony charges. I'm asking if Your Honor can consider waiving the fine and the court costs and possibly the community service hours, since we are not sure if she'll be.
Okay, the court will grant your request. The court costs and the fine will be waived and also 10 CSR hours. The rest of the recommendation I will follow. And Ms. Ayala, your other attorney, Ms. Palacios Love, has requested for you to be on standby. I don't want you, you've already stood long enough in front of the camera. So if you want, oh, she's there. Okay.
I'm here, so I just need a reset date. I sent it to them, but the state still needs to sign and e-file it. So if the court can give me a plea date.
Okay, so the felony that she has pending, Ms. Garza, has that already been indicted or is that an intake?
I don't believe, Judge, it has been indicted. She's pending to post a bond.
Yeah.
So have they set bond on those?
I believe she has bonds. It's just I don't know if she's going to be able to post bond.
Okay. Okay, but do you know what they said? Can somebody check to see what they said for her on those felonies?
On the felony case, Your Honor, I believe it's a 4,000 cash assurity, but let me double check. But on that case, Your Honor, it was from a March 9th, 2021 arrest date, not out of the same transaction. So she's still pending the lab, so they haven't done anything. But in the meantime, while we get the reset date, I will speak with OJ.
Okay, the reason I asked was because the other two offenses, the ones that you're appointed to, Ms. Palacios Love, they're non-violent offenses. I will entertain a motion at this time for a reduction on the bond.
On the theft and the resisting? Oh,
yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, then I'm requesting a bond on CR 20-08276-I and CR 21-10059-I, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Ayala, because those are non-violent offenses, ma'am, I'm gonna give you on the CR 21-10059-I, I'm giving you a PR bond in the amount of $4,000. And also on CR 20-08276-I, a PR bond of $2,000. And that way you deal with the bond on your felony charge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. And then I can have you come back on October the 5th at 1:30, Ms. Palacios Love. Do you want it sooner than, I don't think I can get you in sooner than that.
If you can't, that's fine. I'll wait till the October 5th, but
okay. Now, Ms. Ayala, if for some reason you bond out before October 5th at 1:30, I expect that you will be present, ma'am, because you've been present at all your hearings, but you've been incarcerated the entire time. Okay? So I expect that you will be present, okay?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right. So, all right, Ms. Ayala, then you are excused.
You, Honor.
Okay, Ms. Palacios Love, then we'll see you on October 5th at 1:30.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Likewise. Okay, Ms. Garza, you have Ms. Torres? as
Yes, Your
well.
That's number 54.
Thank you. That's CR 20-09668-I, State of Texas versus Maria de Jesus Torres. Ma'am, it is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What's the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $200 fine, court costs, 1 year deferred, an alcohol course, defensive driving, 6 months on the mobile alcohol monitoring device, 90 days Texas driver license suspension.
Okay, Ms. Garza, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
We're only asking if her suspension can run concurrent with the prior state suspension.
Okay, that'll be granted. And then I'll give you 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow. Ms. Torres, that mobile alcohol monitoring device does need to be installed within 48 business hours that I sign your judgment.
Excuse me, can you repeat that again, please?
Yes, okay. So what you entered into today is gonna be put into writing, okay? Once I sign that, you have 48 hours to get the mobile alcohol monitoring device. That is part of your probation, okay?
Okay.
So I need your phone number so that they can contact you and discuss a list of vendors.
Okay, ma'am.
What's your phone number?
956-207-5722.
Okay, we're still on docket, but at Ms. Soto's earliest convenience, she will contact you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Garza?
No, Your Honor, that's all I have this afternoon.
Okay, both you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, have a good day.
Likewise.
CR 21-09648-I, State of Texas versus Oscar Romero Garcia to the offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, a Class A misdemeanor. Sir, it is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. And what is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $400 fine, court costs, 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail, probate for 2 years, the repeat offender program, the interlock ignition device, 72 hours in Hidalgo County Jail, 108 days Texas driver license suspension, and 30 community service hours. And Judge, this was an open plea, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Arisma, did you want to say anything?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has an ICE hold, Judge. So he will not be able to comply with any probation conditions, Judge. We're asking the court's consideration to give him time served, Judge. He has been in county jail, if my math is correct, approximately 120 days. He was arrested on or about May 19th, Judge, or May 20th. And so we're asking the court's consideration, no fine and no court cost, Judge. ICE will be picking him up.
Okay, the court, taking into consideration the situation, will waive any fines and court costs. Will give Mr. Garcia credit for time served, and that'll be the judgment of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. You can let Mr. Garcia know that he's excused, Ms. Castañeda.
Mr. Garcia, ya se puede retirar.
Ms. Arisma, anything else? Okay. CR 17-04943-I, State of Texas versus Armando Ramirez Jr. for the offense of theft of property of greater than $50 but less than $500. A Class B misdemeanor, sir, it is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. For CR 21-08264-I, for driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are also guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation on each of those cases?
Judge, for mine, CR 21-08264-I, the state recommend $100 fine plus court costs, 54 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 54 days.
Okay. On this plea, Ms. Garcia Perez, anything on behalf of your client?
Judge, I would just ask that you follow the recommendation of the state and consider waiving the fine and court costs in light of the amount of time he spent in jail, Judge.
Okay, that'll be granted. Fine and court costs will be waived. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow. And on CR 1704943-I, what is the state's recommendation on that?
Your Honor, Eric Schreiber on behalf of the state. The recommendation is essentially the same. 0 fine, no court costs, 54 days Hidalgo County Jail credit for 54 days.
Okay, Ms. Garcia Perez, any requests on this plea?
No, Your Honor, that's our agreement, Judge.
Okay, then the court will follow the state's recommendation.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I
Okay.
have before this honorable court. May I be excused?
You certainly may. Mr. Ramirez, you are excused. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, real quick, so just to be clear, I got time served on both cases?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, on CR 1915012-I, the state of Texas versus Mario Arnulfo Fernandez Cantu for the offense of driving while intoxicated second, a class A misdemeanor. Sir, it is the judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $300 fine, court costs, 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail, probate for 18 months, the repeat offender program, the mobile alcohol monitoring device, 5 days in Hidalgo County Jail, 1 year Texas driver license suspension, and 40 community service hours. And for CR 1811814, that will be a rebel dismissal with plea to the aforementioned plea. And the defendant is to participate and sufficiently complete the MAD program. And I think there's one more.
He also has number 35 on the court's docket.
Yes, Judge. Number 35, CR 2009394I, that will be dismissal with the aforementioned plea.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, any requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, a couple of things. One is he's been on bond for quite some time, and he works out of county. The court may recall the last couple of hearings, you see him on the job site. He happens to be home now. We would ask that condition be relaxed to allow that travel. He's got a good job, Judge. Also, we would ask the court to consider these 5 days as a condition of probation, 5 days county jail, either to project out some time to allow him to do it, a weekend here, a weekend there, or to delete it altogether. So I understand that we're just asking that be waived, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Soto, what is Mr. Fernandez Cantu's latest report?
Judge, he has a device with a safety check of the past, since the last court date, he's had 2 missed tests.
Okay. Mr. Fernandez Cantu, you can't be missing those tests. If you're having an issue with the testing window, you need to let Ms. Soto know. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I understand that.
Okay, so are you you're working full-time, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna waive your 40 CSR hours. And then I'm gonna give you 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs. The 5 days of Hidalgo County Jail can be done throughout any of the time period of the of your probation period.
That is correct, Judge, and it's mandatory.
Yes. Okay, and your Texas driver's license suspension will run concurrent with any administrative suspension. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow. Mr. Fernandez Cantu, what's your phone number?
956-313-2534.
Okay, Ms. Soto may be calling you at her earliest convenience. If you have an issue with the testing windows because of those missed tests, you need to let her know. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Sanchez?
That was all, Your Honor. The court was breaking up just a little bit regarding the out of county. If it's a
Oh, the court will grant his request for as long as he's working he can be, that condition of being in Hidalgo County will be waived.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. That's all we
And
have.
he can report by mail for so long as he's working out of the county, but if he's in the county and it's time for him to report, he has to report in person.
Yes, ma'am. Understood. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. CR 20-5469-I, State of Texas versus Eliasar Cervantes Jr. to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. However, you are asking to be placed on the pretrial diversion program. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that PTD program is a contract that you're entering into with the state of Texas, and you're agreeing to comply with those conditions. So is there anything that you see in that terms and conditions that you are unable to meet, sir?
I'm sorry.
Are there any of the conditions of the PTD program that you are unable to meet?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so in exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss the charges against you if you completely and successfully complete, the program. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. Now, counselor, are there any terms or conditions in that PTD program that you do not think your client can comply with?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then the court will place Mr. Cervantes on the PTD program. Now, do you, as a condition of this program, Mr. Wind, is he going to be on a mobile alcohol monitoring device?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, do you have one already, Mr. Cervantes?
No, I have the interlock on my vehicle.
Okay, Ms. Soto, do we have a report on his interlock device?
Yes, Judge, he has his interlock device with Lifesaver. There's no violations.
Okay, I'll go ahead and allow the interlock device instead of the mobile alcohol monitoring device, since he does have 0 violations and it seems that he has been using it. Let the judgment reflect that, please. Okay. You're to return on September the 15th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay. Can I get a phone number for you, Mr. Cervantes, please?
Yes, 956-566-2301.
Tell me again.
956-566-2301.
Mr. Nguyen, can you confirm for me on the PTD program, does it have to be a mobile alcohol monitoring device or can it be an interlock device?
Judge, I'm not sure about that one, but on our judgment, proposed judgment, we requested a mobile device, Judge, but I'm not sure about that.
If it's a requirement of the PTD program for him to be on a mobile device, then Mr. Cervantes, I don't have any other alternative than to order you to switch to a mobile alcohol monitoring device. If it is not a requirement of the pretrial diversion program and you can stay on your interlock device, then we'll leave you on your interlock device. That is going to be something that the state or someone has to find out for me before we enter judgment with my signature. Okay, Mr. Escamilla?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So we'll let you know, as soon as you get your paperwork, your attorney will let you know whether it'll stay with interlock or with mobile.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay? All right.
That's all
Mr.
I got,
Gebb?
Judge. May we be excused?
Yes. Mr. Guevara, why are you waving at the camera?
It's because I got 2% and I think my phone's gonna die.
Well, that's on you, Mr. Guevara. You should have already had your phone completely charged. It's your responsibility, sir. Okay. On CR 21-03715-I, the state of Texas versus Alexander Contreras Jr. to the offense of resisting arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. Mr. Contreras, it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $200 fine, court costs, 4 months deferred, a life skill course, 20 community service hours.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Contreras respectfully requests Your Honor to consider waiving his fine and court costs and also some consideration on the community service hours. Mr. Contreras was having a bad period in his time where he picked up these offenses because he was having problems with his brothers. He was living at his mother's house. He has since moved out of his mother's house, and his now has those debts of being independent. And he's also lost his job during COVID. He recently got employed. His first paycheck is this week. And finally, once he's done with these 4 months, he is enlisting in the Army. And that is the reason why we worked really hard at trying to get him to get these charges dismissed. His brothers are no longer willing to go forward with the cases because everybody's really rooting for him in this life change and they want him to succeed. So we're asking for that consideration. The fine and the court costs would end up being a burden on him and might prevent him from successfully completing this probationary period.
Okay, so Mr. Contreras, you're now working full-time?
I just lost my job, if I could be honest. I'm now looking for another employment.
Okay, so then that Ms. Gutierrez, and he's no longer employed at the new job that you were talking about.
Which would make the payments that much harder.
Well, but Your Honor, in this case, he can do the 20 hours community service.
Yes. Okay, so then what are we doing on 21-00100-I and CR 19-08988-I?
Judge, for those other ones, we're doing the ADR route of the ANP victim testimony and anger management course for dismissal.
Okay, so Mr. Contreras, you need to get the information so that you can start that anger management course because there sometimes is a wait list and that does need to be completed in order for you to get the dismissal on those 2 cases. And what I will say is that he only has to take 1 anger management course and it's only going, and then of course you'll get, I don't want him to have to take 1 for one and 1 for the other. That doesn't make sense. So it'll be 1 anger management course that will be sufficient for both of those offenses, okay? Now, do you have a date as to when you're going to put on that victim testimony, Mr. Wind?
Judge, for one of them, we're trying to make contact with him, but we want to make contact with him on that one. On the other one, we make contact and he's scheduled to do his ANP tomorrow, Judge. So,
okay. So which one? All right, so I'm gonna set it up I'm gonna give you time to make sure that you bring them in so that we can do the victim testimony on each of those on November the 18th at 11 a.m. Okay, and on CR 21-03715-I, the court will go ahead and waive the fine and the court costs, and the rest of the recommendation I will follow.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have nothing further before this honorable court. May Mr. Contreras and myself be excused.
I just need a phone number for him.
956-647-1600.
Okay, and I'm sorry, also on CR 21-03714-I, which is number 31 on the court's docket, I'm setting that up also for November 18th at 11 a.m. So let's see if we can have all of these alleged victims there, and if not, then if they don't show up, they have their ANPs on file or however, then we'll decide how we'll proceed at that time.
Very well, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Contreras, good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question. So anger management is life?
No, I'll explain that to you, Alexander. They're 2 separate classes. I'll call you.
Okay. And Ms. Soto, your probation officer will contact you at her earliest convenience, okay? All right, anything else?
No, that'd be all, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, then, all right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. NCR 20-07342-I, the state of Texas versus Juan Daniel Gonzalez for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. Okay, and what is the state's recommendation?
The state recommend $400 fine, court costs, 180 days in the Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 18 months, an alcohol course, 9 months on the mobile alcohol monitoring device, 90 days Texas driver license suspension, 30 community service hours, open restitution to the victim, Alan Tolentino, the defendant to participate and successfully complete the MAD program and substance abuse treatment facility.
And also he was already screened for SATF.
I'm checking that, Judge.
Yes, Judge, he has been screened, Judge, and he just qualified for the program.
Okay.
And Judge, on CR 2007343I, that will be discussed with the aforementioned plea.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, just to clarify, I have the email here making the plea offer, and I see that it was 180 days suspended for 16 months, not 18 months. Now that's from the email that I received. I don't know if Mr. Nguyen, I don't know where the typo may be, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, can you confirm?
Yes, Judge, let me check real quick, Judge. Well, can defense counsel repeat what was the supposed?
This is from an email somewhere around July 21st, and it says 180 days suspended for 16 months. I mean, I agree it's an unusual number, but that's what I had told my client, 16 months.
Well, I think the paperwork you submitted, he signed off on 18.
All right, Judge. Well, all right. Well, that's one issue, Your Honor. The other one, any suspension period for his checks his driver's license that it run concurrent with any other suspension period, you know, from administrative suspension from DPS. And Your Honor, you may remember that my client works at as a waiter at or as a server at Roosevelt's restaurant here in McAllen. And so we're asking that the court waive the community service hour requirement.
Okay, Ms. Soto, can I get a report on Mr. Gonzalez, please?
Your Honor, he has his mobile device with Lifesaver, Judge, and report for the past month, he did have 4 skip tests, 5 leg tests, and he also had an alcohol reading, Judge, on August the 26th at 7:48 a.m. of 0.046.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, I already admonished you back in July, and I told you that I was going to be keeping an eye. 4 skip tests, late tests, and an alcohol violation. Doesn't sound like you received my message, sir.
Your Honor, if I may?
Not without your attorney's permission.
Judge, we just like to proceed with sentencing, and hopefully my client will be allowed probation and will be under supervision with the probation office. Maybe they can have a better understanding with my client on compliance, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, if you continue that, you're not going to last on probation, and you're going to end up with a revocation, and you will be in jail to serve out the rest of your sentence. Okay.
Your Honor,
No, I don't want to hear the cough syrup excuse. I don't want to hear it because
no, ma'am.
No, stop. You'll have 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs. I'll waive the 30 CSR hours because you are working. I will follow the rest of the recommendation by the state. I will grant your attorney's request and allow your Texas driver's license suspension to run concurrent with any administrative suspension that with any administrative suspension. I'm also going to add that you are to make a $100 donation to the Rainbow Room RGB. I have given that information to your probation officer. She will pass that on to you. Now, Mr. Gonzalez, you had said that you were going to start AA on your own. I don't know if you decided to or not. I hope that you do. I think that if you do have a problem with alcohol, like you stated in front of me before, it has to be difficult to be working in a restaurant, sir, where they serve alcohol. So even after I admonished you, you still have an alcohol violation, you're still skipping tests, and you're still late. You're not gonna last, Mr. Gonzalez. If you have a problem with the windows of testing, please discuss it with Ms. Soto. You will be required to submit your, schedule, and then she can look at it and come up with a reasonable time frame for you to test. What is your phone number?
956-292-8584.
Judge, if I may, Judge, since he's going to be doing the substance abuse treatment facility, which is inpatient treatment, somebody from that office will be calling him so he can report daily for temperature checks, and a COVID test will be done, then he will be admitted for inpatient treatment, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, answer anything that's from the county, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if nothing further, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so you have Mr. Solis as well, correct?
I do, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Solis, CR 20-10748-I, the state of Texas versus Erasmo Solis Jr. to the offense of driving while intoxicated second, a class A misdemeanor. Sir, it is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $300 fine, court costs, 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 18 months, the repeat offender program, full term on the mobile alcohol monitoring device, 5 days in Hidalgo County Jail, 1 year Texas driver license suspension, 30 community service hours. And on CR 1911892I, that will be a rebel dismissal with plea to the aforementioned plea.
Okay, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, that was the plea agreement, but I would like to just remind the court that my client currently has an alcohol monitoring device. He's been on it for several months now. And my client is employed. He's employed out of state, Your Honor. So he be allowed to leave the state for continued employment, and also the community service hours be waived. And any suspension or license suspension also be run concurrent with any administrative suspension from the Department of Public Safety.
Okay. Ms. Soto, can you please give me a report on Mr. Solis?
Your Honor, he has his mobile device with safeguard and there are no violations.
Okay. Keep up the good work, Mr. Solis. I'm going to waive your 30 CSR hours. I'm going to grant your attorney's request and allow your Texas driver's license suspension to run concurrent with any administrative suspension. I'm going to give you 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs, and the rest of the recommendation I will follow. You do have the entire probation period to do your days in Hidalgo County Jail, sir. Now, what is the phone number for you?
956-379-1366.
Okay, sir. Good luck to you, Mr. Solis.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, on Mr. Gonzalez, I forgot to give you the restitution date.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The restitution date on Mr. Gonzalez will be October 5th at 9:30.
October 5th at 9:30.
If you can please let your client know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Olguin,
Yes, ma'am. It looks like we lost Tristan.
yeah, he needs to make sure that I can't be worrying about their battery.
Yes, Judge. I'd ask that you consider that he was out in the field. And
No, I understand that, but I can't have to sentence him.
yes.
It's up to you. If you get him to where he connects, we can pick up where we left off. You just have to put on the record that that he received all the other admonishments and we're at the sentencing phase.
Yes, Judge. If we can proceed, he did receive.
No,
agree,
but I
he
can't
received-
proceed without
Okay.
him for the sentencing phase. He would need to
Okay.
either call in or do the video.
Okay.
So
At this
I'm not, we
point,
will be, we'll be on. I still have Mr. Gonzalez's client and stuff.
okay, well, I'll stick around and try giving him a call, see if
Yeah,
he can get another phone.
okay.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to Gemma Martinez. Okay, Mr. Hernandez, on, excuse me, CR 1902330-I, State of Texas versus Gemma Hernandez for the offense of hindered secured creditors of greater than $750 but less than $2,500, a Class A misdemeanor. Ma'am, it is the judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommends $200 fine, court costs, 10 months deferred, a theft course, 20 community service hours, and open restitution to renter center.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we would respectfully ask the court to give her a little time to pay the court costs, Your Honor. And also with regard to the CSR, my client has advised me that she may be working outside of the county, Your Honor, and travels back and forth. So any consideration on the CSR?
Okay, is she currently employed now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so are you full-time?
Yes, but right now, since I'm gonna be staying here due to my grandpa having issues with his health, I'll be staying here for the 10-month period of the probation. But if I do have to, if I don't find a job here, I am gonna go back to Wisconsin.
Okay.
I have a full-time job in Wisconsin.
Okay, so you don't have a full-time job here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you are working full-time right now?
Yeah, right now I'm on my vacations right now. I'm on my paid time off.
Okay, so as long as you're, okay, if you're working full-time, I'll waive your 20 CSR hours. If you're unemployed, you'll have to do them, okay? I'll give you 90 days to pay your
Yes, Your
fine
Honor.
and 90 days to pay your court costs. The restitution hearing is on October 5th at 1:30. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow. Ms. Martinez, what's a good phone number for you?
512-516-7727.
Okay. All right, well, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. May Ms. Martinez and I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Rivera, we'll need to contact Mr. Lopez because I inadvertently told him 9:30 instead of 1:30 on October 5th. And also I meant to grant Mr. Solis's request to work out of the county.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mr. Orozco?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Present,
Yeah.
and ready.
Okay, on CR 1909692-I for Irene Martinez. Ms. Martinez, it is a judgment of the court that for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, that you are guilty as charged. Ms. Castañeda, please translate.
Ms. Irene Martínez, es la sentencia de la corte que es usted culpable de los cargos por los que está acusada.
Okay, however, she is being asked to be placed on the pretrial diversion program.
Usted está pidiendo ser colocada en el programa de desvío previo al juicio.
And that that pretrial diversion program, it's a contract that she's entering into with the state of Texas.
El programa del desvío al juicio es un contrato en el que usted está entrando con el estado de Texas.
Where she's agreeing to comply with certain conditions.
Y usted está de acuerdo a cumplir con ciertas condiciones del programa.
In exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss charges against her if she completes the program successfully.
Y a cambio, el estado está de acuerdo a desestimar los cargos en su contra si usted logra completar con éxito el programa.
Sí.
Did she understand the terms of and conditions of the program as explained to her by her attorney?
¿Entendió usted los términos y condiciones del programa a como se los explicó su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Orozco, are there any questions or requests on behalf of your client where you do not think she will be able to comply with those conditions?
And no, ma'am, I went over all of those conditions and both her and I understood them. She also understands them clearly, and there is no condition that she believes she's not able to comply with, Your Honor.
Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead. I will place her on PTD. Ms. Castañeda, let her know that she has been placed on the program and she has to return on September 15th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Ms. Martínez la han puesto en el programa y su próxima corte va a ser el día 15 de septiembre 2022 a las 9:30 de la mañana.
Please remind her that as a condition of being placed on the pretrial diversion program, she will be ordered to have a mobile alcohol monitoring device.
Por una condición para estar en el programa del desvío al juicio, tiene que, por orden de la corte, tiene que tener un dispositivo móvil.
Let her know that she has 48 hours, business hours, from the date that the judgment is signed.
Que tiene usted 48 horas de cuando la juez firma la sentencia para obtener el dispositivo.
Okay.
¿Me sirve a mí también?
Mr. Bugarin, please no talking. We can hear you.
Oh.
Okay. So, Mr. Orozco, if nothing else, let me just get a phone number from Ms. Martinez. Ms. Castañeda, please ask her.
Ms. Martínez, ¿qué es su número de teléfono?
Es el 956-708-3199.
956-708-3199.
Okay. If nothing further, Mr. Orozco, then you are excused. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please stay safe.
Likewise. Okay, Ms. Castañeda, let her know that she's excused.
Ms. Martínez se puede retirar.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay. On CR 20-08056-I, State of Texas versus Martin Landeros for fraud, destroy, removal, concealment, writing a Class A misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. Ms. Castañeda, please translate.
Martín Luis Landeros, en su cargo de fraude, destruir, eliminar, ocultar escrituras, es la sentencia de la corte que es culpable de los cargos de los que está acusado.
And what is the recommendation of the state?
Judge, the state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 5 months deferred, a theft course, and 10 community service hours.
Okay, Mr. Jarvis, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
That's our understanding, Judge. Just with regard to with the 10 community service hours, he is working full time. That would be a little bit of a tough burden for him. But with respect to all the other terms, we're in complete agreement with it.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, please ask Mr. Landeros if he is still currently employed full time.
Mr. Landeros, ¿está usted trabajando tiempo completo?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, the court will waive the 10 CSR hours. We'll give him 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court cost.
Very good, Your Honor. May we be excused?
I just need a phone number for him. Ms. Castañeda, can you get him to give you a phone number, please?
Mr. Landeros, ¿me puede dar un número de teléfono?
956-777-2408.
956-777-2408.
Okay. Let him know that someone may be calling him from the probation office at their earliest convenience.
Alguien le va a llamar del departamento de probation, nada más que tengan la oportunidad.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Jarvis, if nothing further, you and your client may be excused.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Likewise. CR 17-13878-I, the state of Texas versus Carlos Bugarin for the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than 0.15, a Class A misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $100 fine plus court costs, 4 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 4 days.
Okay, what was the fine, 100 or 400?
100, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Morales, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we just asked if the administrative, well, I don't think they even asked for that. Well, no request, Your Honor.
Okay, so the court will give him 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs, and the rest of the recommendation I will follow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I do need a phone number for him though. Oh, no, I don't. He's not on that. Okay, that's fine. All right, Mr. Morales, thank you for your patience, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mr. Bugarin, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, you may log off.
Judge, I got Mr. Guerra on my speaker.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Guerra, can you hear me?
Mr. Guerra,
Yes, sir.
the judge is calling you. She's asking if you can hear her.
I cannot.
1 second. Can you hear her now?
Mr. Guerra, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Then we will proceed. Mr. Guerra, this is called the sentencing phase. And so now we're going on to your cases. This is where the state's going to give what the recommendation is. And I'll decide whether I'll follow it, modify it, and your attorney will have the opportunity to ask any questions or requests on your behalf. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in CR 20-2156-I, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. On CR 17-03044-I, for theft of property of greater than $100 but less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor, it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. On CR 19-02124-I, for accident involving damage to a vehicle of greater than $200, a Class B misdemeanor, it is also the judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. On CR 20-02157-I, for possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor, it is a judgment of the courts. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, that'll be dismissed. Oh, no.
Yes, that's my understanding that that one's going to be dismissed.
Okay, I have that. Yes, okay, that'll be dismissed, sir, so don't worry about that. Okay, so then it'll only be on the other 3 that will be taking the plea on. So what is the state's recommendation on those 3?
Judge, for CR 20-02156I, the state recommend $200 fine, court costs 180 days in the Hidalgo County Jail, probate for 2 years, an alcohol course, a drug education course, 90 days Texas driver license suspension, the 1 year on the mobile alcohol monitoring device, 30 community service hours, and restitution due and owed to the DPS lab on an amount of $180. For CR 17-03044I, the state recommend $200 fine, court costs, 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probate for 2 years, a theft course, and 30 community service hours. For CR 19-02124I, the state recommend $200 fine, court costs, 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probate for 2 years, a defensive driving course, and 30 community service hours. And for CR 20-02157I will be dismissed with a formation plea, and there's a felony that will be dismissed also. And the felony CR is case number CR 0681-20-E will be dismissed also with a formation plea.
Okay, 0681. Okay, so on the CR 19-02124-I, that restitution due and owing in the amount of $4,517.76 is no longer owed?
It's no longer owed, Judge. You paid it yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Olguin, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, ma'am. We respectfully request that the court costs and fines be waived, given that he already paid $4,500 in restitution. And we'd also respectfully request community service hours be disposed of, as he works out of town. As you can see, he works upstate and he's gone for prolonged periods of time.
Okay. So, but that restitution was due and owing to whom?
To the accident victim.
Okay. Okay. What I will do is I will order only one probation fee, one fine, and one court cost. And the sentences are to run concurrent, okay? I will waive the 30 CSR hours because he is working full-time. I will also run his 90-day Texas driver's license suspension concurrent with any administrative suspension. And I believe that's, if there's any course, which I don't see, but if there's any course that overlaps, it would only be one course. But I don't see that because he has to take a theft course, an alcohol course, a drug education course, and a defensive driving course. So those are 4 separate courses. So none of them overlap. Okay, and the rest of the recommendation I will follow. Mr. Guerra, what's the phone number for you, sir?
956 359 7080.
Okay. All right. Anything else from the state of the defense?
Not from me.
Okay. Then that'll be the court's order. Mr. Guerra, good luck to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Yes, you're welcome. Mr. Gonzalez. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hello. Sorry. Hello, Your Honor. How you doing?
Hi, Mr. Gonzalez. When you jumped on, I know you were tied up. When you jumped on, we were too far into the pleas to turn back.
No worries, Your Honor. No worries at all.
Okay, so your client is Ms. Chavez?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I just had her.
I believe I saw her a little while ago.
No, I think she's on. Yes, ma'am. Can you please turn on your camera?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, here she is, number 56. Okay, I'm gonna call CR 1914016-I. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, is she ready for a plea?
Yes, Your Honor. And respectfully, if I may ask you a few questions before we begin this plea, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Chavez, can you hear your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Ms. Chavez, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez, it is my understanding that you are not a U.S. citizen, correct?
Correct.
That you are a resident?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that if we move forward with this plea, it may have an effect on your current status and it may result in deportation.
Yes, sir.
And with that understanding, do you still wish to proceed with this plea?
I would like to see if maybe I can get any feedback from attorney, immigration attorney.
Okay.
And Your Honor, my next question was going to be, she has that right to speak to an immigration attorney. And if she wasn't aware of that right, it's up to her, of course, Judge. But I just wanted to make sure, Your Honor, because she is a resident, and she does have that right, Your Honor. And I mean, if this court maybe give us a little bit more time, Your Honor, again, I understand it is a sensitive, delicate situation in regards to immigration statuses, Your Honor. And I apologize. We were ready, but at the same time, Ms. Chavez, if she wants to check out status, how it may affect her, Your Honor, respectfully, if we may give her that opportunity, Judge.
Okay, so Ms. Chavez, the last time you were here, I ordered you to get a mobile alcohol monitoring device, ma'am. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Okay, and who did you get that device with?
I got it from Safety Check with AJ.
Okay, Ms. Soto, I know, I don't even know if I think it might be too soon to get a report, or do you have anything on her?
Judge, I already have a report on her, Judge. She's doing well, no violations, Judge.
Okay, keep it up, Ms. Chavez. And what's your phone number?
It's 956-996-1791.
Okay, so Mr. Gonzalez, what we'll do is let me just set her for a status hearing then. And I'll set
Sounds
her
good, Your
for a status hearing for November the 2nd. And hopefully that'll give her enough time to consult with an immigration attorney. And that'll be November 2nd at 9:30. Okay, Ms. Chavez?
Yes,
Okay, good luck to you, ma'am.
thank you.
All right, Mr. Cantu, we lost Mr. Puente. It looked like he got on for a little bit and then he got off.
Okay, Your
He
Honor.
hasn't checked back in. And I know the
think-
jail's on standby as well.
Yeah, I think for my cases, I think I was asking for a bond reduction. I think you wanted to wait, see how the police went. So that's why I was waiting.
Yeah,
But,
and I don't know, but we're already at the end of the docket.
but could you consider a bond reductions on my cases or not?
Well, you wanted a PR bond and I can't give you a PR bond now, even with the new statute.
On that case, that's let me see, that's number 2 on your docket. That's the assault case.
Mhm.
You did reduce it earlier this week, Monday or Tuesday, from $2,500 cash surety to $2,000 cash surety. And you mentioned that statute. I looked at the statute and that statute doesn't go into effect until December 2nd of this year. So you're not mandated from not giving a PR bond or lowering the bond even further on that
Okay.
one.
And what about on the governor's order? Has that expired? I understood it hasn't.
That's just going to be an issue of whether the governor recognizes a separation of powers in this country. So,
Okay, so I'm not gonna reduce it any further than the cash surety of the $2,000 because I've already reduced it.
all right, then I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
And so, but is he being held on misdemeanors only, or does he have felonies?
He has a felony where Judge Noe Gonzalez gave him a PR bond on August 11th, so he's only being detained on the misdemeanors. I have number 5 and number 7 on your docket. He's got $2,000 cash surety bonds on those two. We request PR bonds at least on those two, Your Honor. Once in evading, once in resisting.
Okay, so on CR 21-07947-I and CR 21-07946-I. So, Mr. Nguyen, do you have a response?
Judge, we won't have an objection to that. It's your discretion, Judge.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and reduce those to a $2,000 PR bond.
Okay, Your Honor, then I guess we'll need some sort of setting on those cases.
So the other ones that are pending are Mr. Fuentes' cases.
Yes, I have case number 4, but he's got a PR bond on.
He already has a
number
PR
1.
bond on that one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I guess what I'm gonna do is, Ms. Rivera, I don't know what happened to Mr. Puente, because his cases were ready, I believe, to be disposed of. So do we have a jail docket on the 21st?
Yes, Judge, we do, as well as the 28th.
Okay, let me just have him come back on Tuesday on 9/21 at 1:30.
Okay, that's for me too, or just for Mr.
Well, I have to
Puente?
keep them all together.
All right, Your Honor.
So
Okay.
it's up to you if you want to know what happened in those other ones.
Yes, no, I will be there, or somebody on my behalf will be there.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, sir, we'll see you.
We'll see you almost.
Okay.
It's almost over.
Deputy, he'll return back on September 21st at 1:30 on all of his cases. Okay, is he the last jail case? Deputy, is he the last jail case?
No, Judge, we have Mr. Castro with Attorney Jesse Contreras.
Okay, his attorney never checked in, sir. I know he's set for arraignments today. Was Mr. Contreras appointed or retained? Do we show?
I believe, one second, Judge. He was appointed.
Okay. Mr. Castro, do you understand English?
Excuse me, Your Honor?
You speak English, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Castro, your attorney, Mr. Contreras, has not checked in with the court, and we're already at the end of the docket, sir.
Okay.
So can somebody verify, is he just in there on these 3 cases, or is he have any felonies that are pending?
He has a felony that's pending, Your Honor, and that is set October the 6th.
Is there a bond on that already? Because he has PR bonds on these 2, and he has a low bond on his resisting.
It's a low bond, Your Honor. It's a 2,500 cash surety bond. It's a second-degree felony assault of a peace officer, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Castro, you have 2 PR bonds, and you have a cash surety of 1,000, and on your felony, you have a cash surety of 2,500.
Okay,
So,
Your Honor.
I don't know if you do bond out or not. You need to make sure you stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Contreras, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to reset you to September the 21st at 1:30. That's the earliest that I can get you so that I can arraign you on these 3 charges.
Okay, Your Honor.
And hopefully I can get your attorney to be here also at that time.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, if for some reason you bond out, sir, remember that hearing date, okay? September 21st at 1:30.
Your Honor, thank you.
All right, sir, thank you. Okay, Deputy, anyone else?
That's it, President. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your patience, sir. Okay, so I have number 37 that no one checked in on. I have that's it, correct? Just number 37?
That's correct.
Okay, Mr. Damien, if you can please call out that name 3 times.
Ma'am. Jose Manuel Gomez, Jose Gomez, Jose Gomez.
Okay, the name being called out 3 times and no one responded. What does the state say of this no-show defendant?
State requests that the judgment not shall be granted, a case be issued, and all bonds forfeited for this no-show defendant.
Okay, the court will grant that request. Nice, I will issue.
Judge, remember the question you asked about whether a mobile device is required for PTD? I found out the answer. It's required. It's required. It can be interlocked.
It cannot, okay. Then we'll go ahead and have that in the judgment to switch him out from the interlock to the mobile, okay, Mr. Damien? Because he'll need the order in order to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do we
And
have
that's-
the vendor for that device?
I'm sorry?
Do we know the vendor for that device, the interlock device?
We have to let him pick it.
Well, no, if he was on the interlock, correct?
Oh, for the interlock. Oh, Ms. Soto, do you remember that one?
It's,
Well, first, what number is he?
sorry, it's 29, Judge. He's with Lifesaver.
Okay, number 29 is interlock is with Lifesaver.
Okay.
And then condition G was waived on that one as well. Is it, I get confused with the one, is it G or 7?
It's G, Judge, for PTD. For regular probation is 7.
Yeah. Okay. That concludes this afternoon's docket.